Good afternoon, YouTube. This is LA Prepper here, just wrapping up a previous video where I talked about what was in sort of my level 2 car slash earthquake kit, which is kind of an incomplete bug out kit. Yeah, that's the best way I could describe it. It's sort of like a very incomplete or maybe buggy in kit. I don't know. There's some food, there's some water, there's some really crappy first aid. I couldn't even call it first aid. There's some band-aids and alcohol swabs, wet wipes. There's not even any tape or gauze or anything like that. So that was that. Oh, and a whistle, In case all else fails, make yourself visible with a whistle. Ooh, forgot one. So this is something my mom, picked up at a flea market or something, like a Red Cross earthquake kit. And I love her to death for getting me little gifts like that. Whenever she comes down to SoCal to see me, she'll give me these little care packages, and it's very sweet. So I appreciate that, Mom. But right now we are going to talk, and let me see if I can make sure we're getting all this in frame. It's so hard to tell, even with a cell phone, unless you have a screen, to tell what's in frame or not, and it's really aggravating sometimes. But let's do a quick check. Oh, fucking back. Cool, okay. Sorry, I'm growing old, and trying to pop wheelies on my bike like a BMX star is not always a great idea. So let's take a look. I'm going to set this aside for now. I do have gloves in here. Set these. Oh, are you open? Nope. I made this bag. This is like a shave bag or something. It's got this coat hanger, which I really love. Not a coat hanger. It's got a hanger so that you can hang it. And I think it's sort of for like traveling, like a traveling sort of mess kit, if you will. It almost looks like a traveling makeup kit. Like you would put a bunch of different stuff in here and have a bunch of different brushes. I don't know. Some reason it felt like that. But anyways, traveling something kit. So let's get into it a little bit. Let's see how well I'm covering the 5 C's. So let's start with covering. What kind of covering do I have in here? Mostly these two guys. 2 space blankets. One for a shelter, one for my own personal warmth. Keep in mind, this kit is in my car, so I don't typically keep my bug out bag in my car when I'm going around. I guess that's something I could do. I'm usually pretty local, so even if I'm driving around town, I'm never more than like 5, 10, even 20 miles away. I could hoof it back to my house on foot, heaven forbid, society was doing whatever. But something to think about, maybe I should just keep my bug out bag in my car anyways. So this is my shelter in this kit presently. If I was going to upgrade this, I might put in a tarp or some other kind of ground covering, something really compact like 4x8 or 8x12, not something too huge. So that's what we have for covering. What do we have for cordage? And I think I was working on making some other survival kits and selling them, which I still might sort of get into. But in fact, I might need to donate a couple of these to that as it stands. Yeah, I really might need to. Let's keep these and go. Put those 2 up. Anyway, so we got some paracord. Good for a few £100. Not like I'm trying to do anything too crazy with it. Just some other cheap cord, because sometimes you're just doing a shelter or something. You don't need anything super crazy. So I'll just put these guys back in here. And that's why I like this. Oh, this flashlight is killing me right here. That's why. And if you're wondering what's in this one, it's just some. I gotta clean it out. It's some like battery. I had some batteries in here. In fact, I should check these. And they were getting a little bit messed up. So, got covering. We got cordage. Containers. You know, I don't have any containers in here, and I really should. I really should. So, good reason to kind of go over your stuff. Cutting. What do I have for cutting in here? You know, I think I put my... God, where is my multi-tool? I know I have an affordable multi-tool, which I think is in... It's in one of my tool bags, but anyways, I'm going to have to find it. I want to say it's in my car, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll definitely have to look at that. Also have a ring saw for cutting cutting branches. What else do we have? Combustibles. Got some fuel cubes and a couple lighters. People might have like windproof matches and flints and steels and all this crazy shit. Unless you're in a blizzard or the pouring rain, and even then, just get a goddamn lighter. Matches are shit. Flint and steel, if it's blowing a lot of wind or it's crazy, you know, that's challenging too. Get a lighter. Just get a lighter. Get some fire starters. You know, get some Vaseline and some cotton balls or something like that. I really should add some homemade fire starters to this kit. But, you know, again, I'm in my car, so is it going to get cold enough that I'm going to get out of my car and light a fire and that's going to be warmer than being in my car? Probably not going to be warmer than in my car unless I make a snow shelter, and that's a whole different video. So those are the 5 basic C's. You can see I'm a little bit deficient on a couple of them. Let me talk about a couple extra things that I didn't mention yet. I have a little shit compass just because. Got the flashlight here. In fact, God, these are some garbage batteries. I don't even think. You know, it's nice to get affordable stuff, but sometimes cheap stuff is just so shitty that it's not even worth getting. And batteries definitely, well, they freaking work, but God, they're pretty goddamn terrible. But just for the fact that they'll give me a few extra hours, I'll keep them for now until I get some other ones. So I got the flashlight, got some first aid stuff. And actually, I think this is like the most first aid stuff I have anywhere, which is embarrassing. I don't have scissors. I need to add some first aid scissors to this. But the multi-tool that's supposed to be in here does have a knife, so. Some shit first aid kit. Have some matches in here. Mostly psychological, you know, for that. Got some gauze, 2 different sizes gauze. Got some ace bandage. Got some athletic tape. So this is kind of, you know, this is like 1 or 2 wounds, maybe 3 or 4 if they're not too bad. But I really need a lot more gauze, a couple more bandages. A tourniquet in here would be phenomenal. Pressure dressing, like an Israeli bandage or something like that, would be phenomenal. So definitely work to do on this. And that's kind of part of the reason that, you know, I like kind of going through my stuff once in a while to see like, oh, where's my knife? Why don't I have a container in here? You know, what's going on with that stuff? Plus, last but not least, just a couple of water mix vitamin C things, just for a few calories and a little bit of energy, and a can of tuna. So I don't even have 3 days of food in here. You know, I could have... Oh, in fact, maybe I'll go in a little bit, grab a little bit of food and throw in here. I guess I have the food in the other one, which is why I'm not too crazy about the food in this thing. So, but at any rate, you can see my car kit is in sort of dire need of some attention. But I suppose because I'm not, because I have things like my bug out bag and sort of other supplies that if I was going to bug out in my car, like that's what I would take with me. I kind of look at this bag as just like in between being in my car and getting home. Like if I was going to go car camping or go up and, go on a trip or something like that, I feel like I might be a little more concerned about the kind of stuff that I'm taking with me. But this is just kind of for around town. I'm not expecting to. I mean, if the shit hits the fan and I'm in my car, like randomly, at the grocery store or something, I don't necessarily have a contingency for, if shit hits the fan and I'm in my car, then I'm going to do X, Y, Z, da da da. No, I'm going to go home and see what the hell's going on and then take it from there. So I should probably get a little more serious about my car kits. I have a little bit of food, a little bit of water, very, very minimal amount of first aid. I could spend, 10 or 20 bucks and really take it to the next level to where it's a little more serious for trauma, and a little more sustainable for like 2, 3, 4, 5 days. God forbid something, even something really simple. Like let's say I'm driving somewhere up the hill, maybe just 20 miles away up in the mountains off some side road. No cell phone reception. And, I don't know, my car breaks down and I break my ankle or something or break my leg. I can't walk, don't have any cell phone reception. I'm relatively close to civilized society, but I can't call anyone. So unless someone comes by, I'm not really hoofing it out. So even something like that to where, and to be honest, I keep this in a location that if I was stuck in my driver's seat, I would never be able to reach it. I have to open up the tailgate and lift up the tail. In fact, I really should start. The earthquake bag I keep just in the back seat, but should probably put both of these sort of like together or something, or maybe separate the food and the water out and then put everything else in one bag and make sure that it's accessible from where you're sitting. Because if you roll your vehicle and you're stuck and you're injured, you're gonna wish you had all your preps right next to you. Even a little bit even if it's just some water and a couple granola bars or something. I mean, that can, if it's a few hours, it's not a big deal. But if it's a few days, the difference between those crappy flour rations and 3 liters of water versus not having any rations and not having 3 liters of water, that's a big difference. Add an injury, add extreme temperatures, add stress, shock, fear, any other things going on, it's even more taxing on you as a person. So I'll say this to you guys, excuse me, but it's also like a message to myself. Get your car bag in order. Doesn't have to be to bug out with, but at least get your 5 C's, get some good first aid, keep it where you can reach it, go through it, every few months just to kind of make sure all your stuff's there. Like my multi-tool wasn't there, so I got to track that down and see where I put that. So yeah, that's a little kind of the part 2 of the stuff that I keep in my car right now. It's definitely a work in progress, but I will hold myself accountable for in the next couple weeks trying to round that out, and maybe I'll do an update video, and we'll see how well I did. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.